What's up, guys? Maddie here. I will be talking about Decentraland and if virtual land NFTs can have value, how to invest in virtual land, how to invest in Decentraland, and is land a significant or a maybe will it become a collectible thing? So let's get into it. The DCL in DCL Blogger, guys, is basically Decentraland, right? For 2 years, I spent much of my career from 2018 to 2020 in the NFT space, buying and selling virtual land for profit. So I used to do that all the time, right? I bought and sold, God, thousands of land in between. And that's how I made most of my money, right? Most of my money was made buying and selling virtual land in Decentraland. So I would love to go through basically this tweet that I did and go through a whole marketplace analysis about Decentraland land and all that sort of stuff. But basically, I made this tweet saying, can Decentraland land plots have value in the future solely due to being an early 2018 NFT project? I have a ton of land, so it can't help but have a biased take. Can it be a thing or not? Same with Crypto Voxel Somnium Space. I said that because basically everyone's running back to try and grab the early projects, right? We've seen these Ether rocks be a thing because they're a 2017 project. People are running to Ether tulips, Ether Lambos, crypto crystals, crypto strikers, autoglyphs. They're all important in their own right. But people are rushing back to what they are seeing as OG projects for one reason or the other. And they're seeing if that is like the first, virtual land project, or if that year or that era is important moving forward 3 to 4 years from now. And I think people are realizing that collectibles anchored in history matter, especially with crypto punks going out there and doing millions of dollars in sales. Everyone's rushing back to try and grab curio cards and mooncats and anything around the crypto punk timeline. And this is the crypto punk timeline. So anything here or here seems to be going nuts. So all of this stuff is pretty much going crazy. But with virtual land, it's quite interesting because the first ever virtual land project was Ethereum, right? It started with Ethereum, and Ethereum, if you guys have seen it, is a very, very basic, but at the time, quite interesting concept. So it started off with this. So this was like the first NFT project on Ethereum, as far as we know. Launched 3 months after its Ethereum launched itself. So I think that was the story behind it. You can go in there and buy plots of land. So look at this. You can go in there, explore. You can buy these what's called land tiles, and you can build on these land tiles, right? So if you zoom in here, you can see some people. One guy has built this thing here. Has built a pooing horse, right? Then a poo over there, then a poo over there. But basically, you can mine blocks which give you items to mine, and they allow you to build on these tiles, right? You buy a tile. The cheapest tile I think recently yesterday one went for 45 ETH. This morning one went for like 35 and 25 ETH or something. So around the 30 to 40, 20 to 25 to 40 ETH mark now, but back in the like 3 or 4 months ago, they were about 1 to 2 ETH. But anyway, the story started with the virtual land on blockchain. Then it seems like it started to expand, and now Pixel Map Lost 2016 project came up where you could buy these land tiles and put a picture up here. It's quite simple, quite a simple idea. But look at this. Ben Nolan says, hey, Ken, this is awesome. I want to make something like this, but in 3D. And Ben Nolan went on to make Crypto Voxels, right? He went on to make this bad boy, which very, very impressive project. Completely, I believe, bootstrapped by Ben Nolan, where you can jump into these worlds, crypto voxels, and explore the world. Look at this. People in here, you can build things in 3D. And yes, it does look quite basic, but it's not. Like, it's built on blockchain. So I think the timeline was, and looking at Leonardus's map once again, the timeline was Ethereum, Pixel Maps, Decentraland, then crypto voxels, Somnium Space, etc., etc., etc. I think that's how it went down. So will Decentraland have historic value? I'm not sure. I think maybe it'll be a really interesting thing if it does, because suddenly, like all these collectors, it'll become a thing of collecting, right? It'll be a thing like, okay, well, I have a Decentraland land and I built something on it. and that has a historical position in the timeline in the NFT world. Now, we can jump to Decentraland real quick, and if you haven't been inside it, it's basically like this. It's really, really cool. It's one of the very small handful of projects in the NFT space that launched in 2017, 2018 that actually continued building. Not many continued building, guys. Axie Infinity is one, Decentraland is the other. Literally like one or two handfuls or other projects continued to building because they were well funded and they had a great team and an idea. But look at this. You can go in here. This is my character. I can dress myself in different wearables and avatars, and my wearables are NFTs. This is Marcomatic's gear that I bought. I can walk around. I can say hi to people. I can jump to a different area. So I can jump into Crypto Valley. And Crypto Valley is a district. And I'll go through this whole map functionality. But basically, you can buy these plots of lands, which are pixels. Pixels on the map. And those pixels, so you can see here, these are all pixels of the world in a bird's eye view. And each pixel is 16 by 16 meters square, right? And you can jump in that world. You can jump in that world and people can build on their land. So in that 16 by 16 meters land, people have built all sorts of things. And people like Matic have a building here, the battle races. This is the Matic building. This is the conference center. If you keep walking around, you'll see also, you'll definitely see some iconic buildings and some familiar faces. You have the Decentraland Foundation. You got Rarible. You got the Rarible building. You keep walking around. You got a little bit of an Axie game sort of thing going on here. You have Binance up in the corner somewhere. I think it's here. It takes a while to load. And this is the issue with Decentraland, which they're going to fix because they're going to move to their own app or client. You got async art over here, which is pretty cool. You got MakerDAO. You got Binance there in the corner. And you can, back when they launched, you could have gone in there and claimed their NFTs or their wearables. You can see there's a Binance hat circling. You could have claimed that in the early days. You got Meme. And this is all in here, right? This is a Crypto Valley district. So you can buy land in different areas. The purple areas are districts which are managed by a team. The land there is, you can sell that land, but no one, like the teams hold most of that land. The gray ones are what most people sell, and you can see some people have joined their land. And if you join their land, then you can actually, if you join your land, you can build higher. The Medikey definitely have some land here. You can see these red dots are where people are playing and hanging around, doing all sorts of things. And slowly traffic is picking up, but I think they'll do really well once, they'll do extremely well when they go to their own client, I think. Now, the green boxes that you saw, they're kind of like Decentraland owned land where they hold parties and stuff like that, or they kind of hold venues. You walk in here, you can see Pixel Chain Gallery. And this little area here is like kind of a little gallery sort of spot. You got Maker's Place. Maker's Place is over there. Then you got Known Origin. This is super rare. This is a super rare building right next to Known Origin. Both looking quite wild. You can go into super rare. You can see people put art on the walls. Right? People put their art on the walls and people hold meetups here. And there's all sorts of things. And the super rare community and the Known Origin community, they use this Decentraland for meetups and stuff like that. But basically, they built a pretty decent world for, if you think about it. There's not many projects that you can actually do something in, apart from like you strip away avatar projects and art. There's not much stuff you can do and game and play in. And so this is the concept of Decentraland, right? You buy these lands and they do their thing. Now, Decentraland land prices have seen a very, very big variety of pricing. Look at this, Zrun as well. Let's actually jump into Zrun. Let's jump into Zrun. Zrun, as you guys know, they've made a building. They're a pretty popular game, and people use Decentraland events.decentraland to put events, and they jump into this. So they use this to kind of have like blockchain events or events on a blockchain world where they can buy and sell art and do all sorts of things. So it's going for a pretty, looking back, like it's a pretty decent world if you compare everything to this space at the moment. Let's see if I can jump in. And then I'm going to go through valuations, guys, real quick. Okay, after this. So we jumped in. Has it been deployed yet? Who knows? Looks like it hasn't been deployed yet. Yeah, so that's the concept of Decentraland, right? And you can see Wonder Quest, Alice in Wonderland coming here. As I said, Binance, you can see a bunch of people running events. Medikey is going to start running events here. There's a bunch of games slowly starting to develop. meetups. You got Pranksy's Palooza, all sorts of random stuff going on. Rovi AI is starting, Ethermon, they have games here, they do wearables. Anyway, it's a pretty cool social space. Now, in terms of valuations, the cheapest current price for a land is 5,050 mana. Back in the day, mana used to be 3 cents or 5 cents, right? It used to be 5 cents. So 5,000 mana was $250 US. 250 USD for a land plot. And you can see that was back over here somewhere, right? Back over here somewhere, 6 cents, 5 cents. And for a very long time, that was the case. And then the land went from, say, 5,000 to 10,000 mana. So at a time, the floor was actually 15,000 mana, which at mana being 5 cents became like 750 USD. Then what happened is crypto boomed and mana went nuts. Mana went absolutely bonkers, and suddenly it's $1.60 for a token. And that's how, like, it went from $1.60 back down to 48 cents, and it's picking up again. But that's where we had these fluctuations in prices. That's where mana suddenly went from land prices went from, say, 15,000 mana all the way down to 5,000 mana again, because they were like, wait a second, at 5,000 mana, my land is still worth 5,000 USD or 3,000 USD, which is still more than the 500 USD or 750 USD when mana was worth 5 cents and the cheapest land parcel was 15,000 mana. So there's that weird dynamic of the currency fluctuating and land prices fluctuating, but overall, USD wise, it's gone up, right? A 2018 project, and again, like, why are these worth different things? Is because, well, it's a lot about scarcity and it's also a little bit about utility. For example, if you're on the far outskirts and you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, the light blue are basically land that's listed for sale. So light blue and gray are pretty much the same thing, except gray is just not listed for sale. And if you're in the far outskirts, then you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. You could possibly be landlocked if someone builds land all around you. So it's not really worth that much. So that's why you see the cheapest land being, in the 112, 114. All right, the length and the width of the whole map is about 300 by 300, so about 90,000 land parcels, of which 45,000-ish are private lands and 45,000-ish are roads and Genesis plazas and districts and stuff. So let's just say conservatively 45,000 land parcels there are that you can buy and sell. Yeah, the cheapest ones being 5,000. Now, it gets a little bit more expensive as you kind of get closer and closer to activity. So you can see here, again, I kind of see, like, if they're not really in anything close by 5 parcels, if they're not really close to anything, it gets really expensive when you start to, not really expensive, but it gets much more expensive, relatively more expensive when you start to get really close to districts. So you see, this is only 1 parcel away from these districts, right? 6,800 mana there. This one's actually connected to a district. So this is Battleground District over here, which is Ethermon. All right, I don't think that's going to load. The red ones are what I own, so I have some land here. Metacoven built a big museum here. So anyway, that's the case. And, land that is, you get closer and closer to the middle, land that's directly connected to Genesis plazas suddenly sell for 20,000, 15,000, 20,000 mana. Land that's connected to single roads. So these are road networks. And if you're in the world, then you'll see like this, just a road you can walk up and down for. So if you're directly connected to a road, then the idea is that people can walk around the road and you are guaranteed visibility. All right, well, what is the cheapest road land? Let's take a look. So there we go. 7,000 mana for the land, a road land. And then you got 7,000 mana here. 7,000, 7,000. So it looks like 7,000-ish. You can get a decent, here you go. This one's 7,200 mana. I have a bunch of land here that I haven't done anything with. And then if you get really, really close to the middle, so for example, if you're really, really close to the center, land here has sold for astronomical prices. So for example, if I were to click this, and then I can kind of see a little bit of the history. I think if I click this, here we go. So 399,000 mana on 27th Jan 2019 it sold for. So 400,000 mana, which today's rate would be like 400,000 USD, but back then it wasn't that. Remember, it was 5 cents a mana. So 5 times 4 is about 20,000 US dollars for that piece. So the closer you get to the center, if you're directly connected to the center, then it's crazy because this is the spawn point, right? Everyone spawns from here. And then you got different areas, like you got Vegas Plaza over here. Oh, sorry, Vegas District. Then you got Museum District in different areas. Looks like this estate has been chopped up, but this whole place is Vegas District. Then you got Decentraland University. You can see here, you got Decentraland Conference area. Then you have Etheria, which is supposed to be like a cyberpunk area, which is still hasn't been built out at all. You got Republic Realm, which own this, Altic City. Then you start to get Dragon City, which is a Chinese community. There's thousands of people in WeChat, which we're going to build here. So it's kind of like a pretty decent community, and I think people are going to run back and buy land and build land on it. Now, you can invest in the cryptocurrency Mana, or you can go in there and buy land if you want. If you look at the land that's been sold, you can check out the Twitter bot. So there's a Decentraland land bot that you can follow that tweets out land coordinates and what they sell for. So this one sold for 4,500 Mana or USD. This one sold for 6,000 USD. 5,000 USD, 5.3 thousand Mana. So it looks like 5,000 Mana ish is what people are paying 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago, and it's slowly selling. I'm not sure if people are selling it to get in from the utility side of things, but now I'm thinking, like I said, collectible wise, it might be a thing, guys. I don't know. If Ethereum can be a thing, if people can rush back to Ethereum to buy land tiles because it's a collectible thing, I don't understand why they wouldn't go and rush back like 5 years from now, why they wouldn't go back to Decentraland or CryptoVoxels and buy these things, because historically there's a significance. But I think that's super interesting. Who knows how much land will go for in the future, but you know, like in 2019 Feb March, I was doing a video on CryptoPunks when they were worth like $300 each, and here I am doing something of Decentraland land. So let's see in a year or two how much they'll be. I personally think it's a great addition to your portfolio. I have a lot of land, as you guys seen. I could be biased, but you know, with this historical significance thing, it's making me a bit bullish and wanting to acquire larger portfolios. It might take some time for people to rush back to Decentraland, but I think, you know, as the world builds out itself and then the people realize that the NFTs were minted in 2018, all the NFTs were minted in 2018, I think maybe even 2017. So here, so for example, right in January 5th, 2018, Ari said, project update, he goes, the past few weeks have been filled with several exciting milestones. We completed our highly anticipated Terraform event, announced several partnerships. Genesis City auction successfully completed. Decentraland Genesis consists of 90,000 land parcels, of approximately 36,000 staked to community districts. On October 15th, we launched the Terraform event. We quickly saw impressive land participation, 600, with bids on some parcels reaching 600,000 Mana. Winning bids total 161 million Mana, which I think was like 28 million USD at the time that was spent on virtual land, which was the largest virtual land sale event in history. Now, that's when the sale ended, right? The sale ended on Jan 5th, or at least this was the project update. So were they minted at that time or before that? We got to figure it out, because if it's a 2017 project, then holy shit, that's even more rarer, right? It could be, because I know what happened was that the auction was in December 2017. It ended in December as well, right? It went for 2 weeks. I believe it ended in Christmas Day or just after Christmas or something. So if it ended, was it minted when they purchased it, or was it minted later? That is the interesting thing. If it's minted when it was purchased, that's a big deal. Just some thoughts on some valuations. You can check out the land bot, and you know, 5,000 is the cheapest. You get a bit more expensive, so 7,000 is closer to row. So you can kind of be a bit diversified if you want to spread your wealth around a little bit. Looks like 5,000 Mana is about 1.7 ETH or a couple of ETH there. Remember, Decentraland, and also Decentraland have this name thing, right? So you can buy names for your avatar, and the highest the names like Kanye West went for 100,000 Mana, Crypto went for 61,000 Mana, Moon went for 50,000 Mana, Satoshi went for 47,000 Mana, I Am Token went for 10,000, Bitcoin went for 10,000 Mana, which, you know, pretty big deal. So some of these names might even become a thing. Hokage went for 0.8 Ethereum, so 2,500 USD for the name Hokage. Naruto went for 1,000 Mana, so someone spent $1,000 on Naruto name. Picasso NFT, and you can go and mint these names, right? You can go and mint names for free, for 100 Mana minimum. So you can go and try and find a name that you can get that's rare and buy it for 100 Mana minimum, or you can buy it from someone else. So the name market might be a thing. The name market came a bit later, so it's definitely not an early thing. It might be a later thing. Now, Decentraland wearables are also a new massive thing, right? When Decentraland first launched, there was a treasure hunt, so you could get a bunch of different wearables. Now there's all these new sort of wearables, but back in the day, when they first launched, you could have only gotten these wearables. So you can see Decentraland 22nd of 20th, and these were a collector's piece for 0.09 Ethereum. They're selling for $300 each. Still, maybe if Decentraland goes on to become a world with millions of users, then that might become a thing, right? 300 USD. It might be a lot more because this is like an OG wearable. You see someone's kind of gone on a buying spree. This is the Decentraland wearables, but someone's kind of gone crazy and bought a bunch of these for 215 mana each. Interesting. So this happened on August 24th. This was the first ever wearables that were released. So these masks, there's like 5 different masks. This one was a serial killer mask. This was given to people that were beta testing at the time, and if you went and did some quest, then you would have got this for free. It looks like it's going for 4,400 USD minimum right now. Definitely a collector's item. You got Ferocious shoes. That was the first Ferocious shoes that was released. Went for 3.35 ETH on August 24th. That's pretty crazy. There's only 10 of them in the world. So then, like, these items being timestamped and released at a certain time might mean something if the world goes on to have millions of users, right? So I think, yeah, you know, it's got a chance. Like, historical I had never, at my point of 4 years of NFT, of Decentraland collecting, ever did I, Decentraland land purchasing or item purchasing, apart from wearables and things, I never thought that land might have a historical significance. Here's a Kraken hoodie. So Kraken officially released something here. And here's another mask. This went for 5,000 mana. Yeah, I had never thought that there'd be some historical significance. Now with everyone running back to get these, I think there may be. So keep an eye out. See if there's momentum there. There's absolutely people that are buying land still for, you know, 5,000 mana pop minimum. So I think, you know, with the utility and the historical value that it will accumulate in the next year or two, prices should go up at least in US dollars. So if not mana, because mana fluctuates. If mana goes to $100, then, you know, I'm not sure if people will still be buying that, selling that mana for 5,000 mana, selling land for 5,000 mana. They might dip it a little bit. But in terms of US dollars, I think it's a great investment, in my opinion, if it goes on to do well. And even if there is a Facebook or whatever, then this has cemented itself as a 2018 or possibly a 2017 project. Just some thoughts, some valuation, and an overall landscape. If you want me to keep doing these videos on virtual land and different topics, then let me know. I know this stuff inside out on certain projects because I've been so heavily involved. But, you know, they're fun to do. So hope you enjoyed yourself, and let me know in the comments what you think. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video.